Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 14 of the Love Fest that I like to call the Prodigal Sons podcast.
Woo!
My name is Jared, and with me, as always, is...
I am Ryan.
This is Ian.
I'm poking you.
I'm the man in the box.
All right, and that's Adam. How you guys doing? Did I tell you how much I like you two? I love you two guys too, a lot.
I know this to be true.
Kumbaya moment.
I'm kissing you right now, giving you a little lick, tongue in your ear.
Gross.
I appreciate that level of affection.
Oh, come on, Ian. I'll give you a handy the next time I see you.
That sounds even better.
Yeah, I knew you were a fucking gay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hey, guys, how was your
Knocking
weekend?
on my own people. Fantastic. Action-packed.
What'd you do?
I had some unexpected company, and so we played some board games.
Oh,
We
so
went
jealous.
out to Reptile Land. We watched a UFC fight. We played some video games. Had some assorted delicious meals. And then Sunday, I watched football all day.
What board games did you play?
Settlers of Catan.
No idea what that is. Is that good, Brian? You got
Yes,
very
it's
excited.
very good. I have it. I have yet to play my board game version of it. I play it on Xbox all the time, and the first time I ever played it was like in college. That was the first time I ever played it, and then I never played it again until I got it on the Xbox. I love that game. It's fantastic.
Brian, what'd you do this weekend? How was it?
Christmas was good. We had
Oh, shit, yeah, I forgot. Ian, how was your Christmas?
It was glorious.
Is this
it
why
was
you're
a nice...
so fucking pissy with me? I didn't say Merry Christmas to you?
No, not at
All
all. I had a great trip to Pittsburgh. We had zero family drama. We had a real fun time out there. People got just the right amount of drunk. No one got wasted and weepy or angry. A lot of good food.
Would that be a normal affair with your family? Or
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My God. Things degrade fast usually. But it wasn't even close this year. Everybody kept it together, and everybody had a really good time. And it was it. And then I was home Christmas Day, had some dinner with my in-laws, and back to work on Thursday.
Brian, you're up.
My parents showed up on Monday of, when we recorded last time, my parents were here, I believe. I believe that was going on then. And then Christmas came along, and the kids were all happy, and we all got a whole bunch of stuff. And then my parents left on Friday, and my in-laws showed up. So it's been a week of company. And we had a good time. We went out to dinner and had Christmas dinner, and played board games also, and played a lot of some video games, and it was no crazy drama, thankfully, but it was a good time.
I'm so jealous.
I got a fancy new microphone stand.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah, Ian, you didn't tell
Hey.
us what you got for Christmas.
I got a Nook HD.
I thought you didn't read books.
I lie about that all the time.
Whoa. This whole thing about books being for suckers is bullshit. You actually do read?
What? Yeah, constantly. I just don't want to encourage reading in other people.
Fuck is wrong with you?
Eh.
Why would you perpetuate a lie like that?
What? Because it all started. I can't really pinpoint it to exactly what movie, but I went through a long stretch in the late 90s of hearing, it was okay, but it wasn't as good as the book. And, that just infuriates me. I possibly more so than any other of my pet peeves. So I just discourage reading all around so I don't have to hear, that was okay, but it wasn't the exact same thing as the book. They weren't able to squeeze in a 700-page book into an hour-and-a-half movie. That's garbage.
It amazes me the things that will light a fire under this guy's ass.
My God.
Not only that, but I wish that was Ian's actual voice, the voice he was just doing.
You tell him about gay people or animals getting tortured. He didn't fucking blink an eye. Tell him that Harry Potter 7 was missing a chapter where Ron and Harry sucked each other's dicks. And he's, what? Fuck that book shit. So this whole time, but see, like, I don't understand, dude. I'm like, and I understand, like, I really don't understand why you get so fucking frustrated about that. But, so you just like, fuck it, I don't read books. This is what you tell people, but you're actually reading books.
If it makes you feel any better, I read almost no fiction books.
Really? So you're
Yes.
like well read in like biographies.
Biographies, historical books. I've been reading a lot of atheism-themed books recently. I read up on fantasy football all the time. Matthew Berry just put out a new book. It was excellent.
Who the fuck is this person on the phone with us, Jared? I don't know this guy.
I don't know either. Apparently, he's been lying to us for the past 13 episodes that he's been out reading. I mean, flat, not even like a joke like books are for suckers. You're like, no, I don't read. All right. There's probably a lot of stuff we don't know about him. Then,
Right, I was going to say, if it makes you feel better, I could have just been like, oh, I got it because I want to play Angry Birds.
Is your wife actually pregnant?
Yes, very much
Okay.
so.
Making sure. I'm trying to see how far the lies
No.
go.
Are there any
This
books
is-
that we've mentioned in the past that you actually have read?
No. I don't know. I don't know all the books that were mentioned. I definitely didn't read that David Cross book that you got and were disappointed in.
I still haven't even finished reading it.
I have no interest in reading the Game of Thrones until the series is over, because I don't want to have any. I don't want to know what's coming, and I don't want to have an image already created in my head of how people should look or how people should, how a setting should look, and then see it on TV and be disappointed.
So when you get mad at people who are like, "Oh, the book was better," you purposely won't read Game of Thrones, so you won't be saying that yourself.
Correct. Okay. And I try to never do that because it makes me so angry. I understand what artistic license means. I mean, I understand that what based on a book means. It doesn't mean a word-for-word retelling.
I think by now everybody's gotten the hang of that it's going to be like that.
You must hang out with smarter people than I do, and that's good for you. That makes less angry. That's why you have time to get angry about real issues.
Yeah, I've gotten over that other shit. The moment they gave Spider-Man organic web shooters, I was like, well, the game's over, man. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
But it just makes more sense, Jared. Come on.
Well, as a person who has read all the Game of Thrones books in the middle of watching the show, like I wasn't a pre-reader and then watched it,
Right.
they're pretty much spot on, man. You're not nothing will get ruined for you in the way people look or something like that. You'll be all right. Books are for suckers.
Yeah, I mean, just reading that first
They are.
book, I only read the first book after watching like 1 or 2 seasons, and that first book was pretty much retold on the screen on HBO.
Oh yeah, book one is probably the only one where they do that. It is definitely a fucking chapter per chapter. It was like Zack Snyder's Watchmen, page for page.
Yeah. The only thing is they took a couple pieces from the first book and moved them around into like the second and third seasons, but they were like just little conversations that didn't really do anything for the plot.
Yeah.
They just let you give more background information on stuff.
I would say the only major change is the ages. Like everybody's way younger in the books than they are on the show.
Right.
Yes.
Like
no doubt.
Ned Stark is 35 in the book. 35.
Okay. Meh,
Daenerys,
you
who
could-
gets raped by Count Drogo, she's 14.
Yeah.
Did you just call him
Good old
Count
Count.
Drogo?
Yeah, it was.
I'm not hearing a word out of Brian on this one.
I was just letting it go. What do you want me to do? Sometimes you just type things and you mean to say something else.
Yeah, I guess Adam wasn't aware of this. I went to go check the summarization of the podcast last week, and Brian wrote down, Count Drogo is Bizarro? Did you change that?
Yeah. I think. I don't know. I need to go back and
It was
check.
fucking
maybe.
hilarious. I would have left it up there. Because now I'm picturing Jason Momoa like in that cheesy ass fucking
Like Count Chocula or something?
yeah, like a Gilbert Gottfried, fucking Dracula Godfrey. Anyway, what else did you get for Christmas, Ian?
Skyrim
Ooh,
For the computer or for the Xbox?
for the Xbox.
I'm acting
I,
surprised, but I already knew this.
Right. I don't do much PC gaming, if any. Actually, I do a little bit. I play World of Tanks. I don't want to be
Fuck you,
called a
World of
liar
Tanks.
later down the road.
Oh my God, you should play that with Adam. He plays that game.
Oh, he's much better than me and much further along. I don't think we'd be able to last in the same. Like, he's probably like a level 3 or 4. I'm still on level 1.
Have you popped that Skyrim in yet?
I have not. I just finished fixing my TV today, so now I can play it in HD on a nice 42-inch screen,
Ooh.
as man intended. Not
you are
on
in for a visual orgasm, my friend.
I
You're
bet.
gonna be very
I didn't want to
happy.
risk starting it on a standard definition 32-inch screen like some sort of peasant.
We might as well fucking cancel. We got to cancel next week's show, Brian, because we're never going to see this motherfucker again. Because Skyrim, you don't play, man. You fucking live it. You know what I'm saying?
I do not, but I hope to find out.
Brian's like, I don't have it. No, I don't know.
No, I do have it, and I didn't feel the same way you do.
Really?
I enjoyed it fine, but I was able to put it down and walk away from it. I heard so many people who were just like like you're saying, immersed, like completely just immersed in the game, and I was like, all right, it looked really cool, and it's a lot like Elder Scroll, like Oblivion. I mean, obviously it looks so much better than Oblivion, but they all play the same for me, so I wasn't like
what
crazy
more were you expecting?
blown out. I don't know. I just heard how everybody was going on about it. I'm like, all right, well, I do like role playing games. I like, I don't know. It was good. Don't get me wrong. I just was able to put it down and walk away.
Well, Ian, you'll be the deciding factor when you decide to pop it in. We'll talk about this game that came out 2.5 years ago. And maybe a year and a half from now, Brian will finally pop in GTA 5, which he got for Christmas, and we could discuss that.
Ooh.
It's possible. I have yet to unwrap the cellophane from it. My company finally left today, so but the kids are still up, and now we're doing the show, so I have not had a chance to play it.
What else did you get? Did you get anything else besides? We know you got GTA 5.
Yeah, I got this fancy microphone arm that stretches across my desk. It's a pivot arm, so it's not on my desk anymore. I actually have room to move, and new headphones.
Fucking balling, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Hey, man, I wanted to put a little production value into it and actually not have to screw around the big thing is I don't have to lean over my microphone any longer. That was my problem.
Like I have to lean forward
microphone.
and backwards every time Ian talks?
Why do you have to lean
Because
forward
for some
and backward
reason,
every time Ian talks?
his voice gets picked up through my headphones into this microphone. But yours doesn't. Like your talk, whenever you talk, I can lean forward. As Ian talks, I have to lean backwards.
Oh, I had no
So
idea.
I get a little exercise when Ian talks.
All right. Sorry about that. I'll talk.
God damn it! Give me some warning, Ian.
All right.
Well, you guys.
But it was just better to not have to, because I was constantly hunching over the microphone, and then it would get too close and all this sort of jazz. So I'm like, screw it, I'll just get this microphone arm. I do 2 podcasts. I'll treat myself. Well, I'll ask for it. I didn't buy it myself. And I got a couple other random things. Oh, I got an Xbox One controller.
Sweet. How cool
No, I
is
just got to wait till next year to get the Xbox One, and I'll be all set.
Oh.
Do you sit in front of your TV with it and pretend you're playing Xbox One?
I had it on my Amazon wish list. I also had an Xbox One, but somewhere along the line, it was the day one version of the Xbox One, and then obviously once it came out, it was no longer available. So I deleted it from my wish list, but I never added another one, and I never removed the controller.
Oh, okay.
So my aunt purchased me an Xbox One controller,
That says day.
which was very nice of
Right,
her.
It says day
absolutely.
one on it.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not a day one.
Xbox
Okay,
One.
okay.
No. The controller wasn't a day one. Just the actual console, because you also got a achievement for being a day one owner of the Xbox One.
It's so stupid.
Yep, I totally would have done it.
People wait in line for that. I get the achievement, which means nothing.
No, it means dick. I get to wave my E-Wang around a little bit more because I have a day one achievement for the Xbox One.
Has anyone ever been shut down on Xbox Live because they didn't have enough achievement points for something? Like, you can't play with us.
No, but-
you only have 5,000 achievement points.
No, but people get banned all the time for cheating that shit.
For getting achievement points, like trying to add.
Yes.
Why?
Because people will take save game files. They'll take other people's save game files, and they'll put them in, and they'll hack it, and it'll immediately show that they get 1,000 gamer score on that, because that save file will have all of the, it'll be somebody's end game.
No. I understand how they're doing it, but why are they?
Why are they doing it? I just said the E-Wang.
Just to fucking just be like, guess.
Look at me, I got all this score.
Look at me. I never get laid and have no life. Look at my. And you're actually lying
There
about
it is.
Yeah.
You got it.
That is a sad story. So, Jared, which one of your 8 presents was your favorite?
8 presents.
For Hanukkah?
From 8 Crazy Nights.
Oh, jeez. joke never gets old.
Even I knew what he was getting at.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Brian.
well, that's because I'm not Jewish. It's becoming a staple now that I have to say this. First of all, I happen to do know this, that Hanukkah fell like around Thanksgiving this year.
Thanksgiving,
so
I
they're
know.
all
Yes.
fucking wrong. You fucking lousy book reader. And I didn't get 8 presents. I got 0 presents. I bought myself a couple things. That was it.
Ooh.
I'm sad for you.
Why?
I would have got you something. I didn't know.
That's quite all right. I didn't want anything. You know the 2 things I got that I bought myself off Amazon? That's what I wanted. A book
Oh, good.
and a Blu-ray. And I was
Well, I'm glad you got what you wanted.
And I was actually kind of hoping that they were going to be here by now because I would have had an opportunity to talk about them. But Amazon's been dragging their ass, and I guess they're having major problems with deliveries this year.
Really? I did not have any problem with them, and I ordered a lot of Christmas stuff for them.
I heard somewhere that they were backed up somewhere.
I've heard the same thing. I heard they were having some problems with one of the shipping companies that they ship through.
See,
Those fucking drones
I was
in the
going to
air.
say, I
Amazon.
bet you
I know.
they fucking faked this. They're like, dude, just don't even ship anything. They'll let us do the drone thing. They'll let us do it. Because you don't really think that's going to happen.
The drones? Not a chance.
Yeah,
Not anytime in the near future because there's so many fucking rules and regulations and shit, and then people will just be standing out with shotguns.
that was my first fucking thought of people sitting on buildings with sniper rifles getting other people's shit.
Yeah.
And they fucking snipe a fucking drone out, and they go grab. They're like, Season 1 of Star Trek Next Generation? I don't even own a fucking Blu-ray player. Fuck.
Right.
Get back on the building. Get me something else.
They get more money for the parts from the drone.
Yeah. This guy got Artie Lang's book. I already read this shit, man. But anyway, that's what I got.
That sounds
Well, Merry Christmas.
yes,
thank you.
sounds great.
I would like to address the Twitter question from last week.
Ooh.
Oh, did we actually get any
Well-
responses?
We did.
Well,
The responses were okay. So the question was, "Who the fuck knows?" Because that's what the problem was. Nobody understood the question. The responses were, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And there's like 8 questions in the podcast. Which one were you asking?
I thought Wait a minute.
Okay, so apparently you didn't edit out my original question. So then when it came back around and you said, "Oh, well, why don't we do this question?" and I said the other question, it was major confusion.
Oh, it made sense to me when I was editing it, but
Right. So my original question was
this is even better then.
yeah. My original question was if you were going to be star in your own spin-off of something or your own TV show, where would you have it placed? And to that you said, "Well, aren't we just going to get a bunch of people who say like random cities?" I'm like, "Yes, you're right. So let's change the question." So then you said, "What was the best or worst spin-off
Right.
in television history?" But when I said what was the best or worst spin-off in television history, I had prefaced it by saying, well, what we were talking about earlier about the states and whatnot. So people thought I was asking, like, the best or worst spin-off in a state. So I completely bunged up the Twitter question.
Well, I would say that's partly your fault, partly my fault with the editing process. But sometimes when I do the edits, unfortunately, like...
Your eyes glaze
no,
over
it's not
and you
even-
kind of stare it off in the middle
No,
distance?
that does happen sometimes because I'm just listening to us talking and I'm getting into it. But sometimes we'll talk about something in a segment that I plan on cutting. And then that will fucking pop up into something more important in the other one. So I have to go back and leave the other shit in. So it gets a little confusing sometimes. I thought I had eliminated that question out of the edit, but then I thought about it and I was like, I might have left it in because I was like, well, Brian restated the question. So if anybody was listening and they're not fucking stupid, they should be able to figure out what he said. I gave the audience too much credit, apparently.
I think it was when I changed the question after you saying, well, aren't there going to just be people who just give us states or cities? And I specifically prefaced it saying, well, what we were talking about earlier with the shows taking place in different states, I was referring to the fact that we talked about 2 specific spin-offs, or 2 specific shows that had like 8 spin-offs.
Oh, okay.
During
that's
that
where they got through.
conversation.
Okay, I got you.
But people thought I was saying, well, what state would you want your spin-off, or what spin-off was the best in a state? Like, I totally messed it up.
That's true, because I did see someone's comments, and they put their state in there, and I was like, why did he answer that question? I thought I cut that out. But apparently not. Yeah. Anyway, I would love to hear these responses. Either way.
I honestly, after people started giving me shit about not knowing what the fuck I was talking about or what the question was. I just didn't tally them. I heard like New York, which doesn't answer anything because it didn't.
But wait, what were some of the responses to your thing where they're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Those were the responses. We're like, we didn't understand the question, or, which question are we supposed to answer? And I was just like, never mind. We'll just come up with a new one for next week. So,
that's fucking.
Maybe
hilarious.
we'll just do the actual spin-off question again.
No, let's come
even
up
though
with
it
something
makes
better.
no sense in this episode.
Come up with something better. Actually, can we get fan submissions of drawings of Count Drogo? Because I would love that.
Oh, Count Drogo.
And then if they can layer in Gilbert Gottfried doing Dracula over that, we'll be fucking set. Will we somehow formulate some kind of question by the end of the show, or?
Yes.
I'm hoping.
All right.
It doesn't just have to be me. It could be one of you guys.
I said
That's
we.
perfectly
I said
fine.
we.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
I mean the
I'll
royal
remain.
we.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'll remain
the royal
optimistic
we.
through the show. That
What is your favorite song by... Oh, sorry.
nope.
The fuck is their name? I totally blanked right now. Who sings Royal We?
Oh, Silver Sun Pickups.
Thank you.
I fucking
Thank
love
you.
that song.
Yeah, so do I. That's why that's where it came from.
Hey, that's something we can talk about.
What's that?
Oh,
Gentlemen, has music
Where?
declined since the 90s, or am I just a cranky old man now?
Definitely be.
Well, scientifically, they did a study and they showed that pop music is louder and does all sound the same.
It's a
Yes.
scientific study.
It's
That
It's fact. It is a fact. They've all pretty much found the decibel range that the kids like, and all the pop music tries to reach for that range and all sound in that same area.
So
that's why so much music sounds alike.
kind of like the theory that I heard, I don't know if this is true, that everything in a casino, the chips,
Yes.
the money, everything clinks in the key of C, which is supposed to be very soothing or something like that.
I've heard that also. Also the brown note.
The what?
Oh man, you don't know what the brown note
No,
is?
what is that?
How have you never heard of the brown note?
I gotta know what it is now. Give it to me.
It's the sound, a certain decibel level, a sound that when played makes you shit your pants.
Come on.
You've never heard
This
that?
is real, or is this some kind of...
It's a theory.
It's an urban legend.
It's a theory.
Is it supposed to be like
I'd
a
like to
gun
go with the
that
theory.
the military uses and they pointed at you?
The military tried to use that noise apparently to make
you know
people
what?
shit
Now
their
I'm starting
pants.
to think I did hear about this. And I'm just like, man, that would be great when I was constipated. Just point this gun at myself. Fucking shit all over the place.
Jared wouldn't use it on other people. He'd use it on himself. And taught him
That's
to
my worst fucking thought. I'm like, can we get a handgun version of this that I can just keep right next to the towel rack?
Jared doesn't want to mess around with prunes or Mucilex. He just wants to brown note himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, why? Why fuck around with other shit in wait hours? Just brown note yourself.
Yeah, and then you could do
Boom.
fun shit like stick it under your chin like you're going to commit suicide, but you're really just going to...
Liquefy your bowels
Yeah.
instead.
That's an amazing... Come on, science, get on that shit.
It is horrible. Horrible.
I know for a fact that South Park did an episode about it. But I had heard about it long before that, and I thought it was hysterical. And that's why when they did the episode, I was laughing my ass off.
The brown note. I like it.
Low frequency vibration. It's hot. Anyway. Yes, pop music. That'd be awesome if they all played in the brown note.
Freaking pop music.
If it was in the background, if it was subliminal somehow, it was just played throughout the background.
Right.
So-
I guess I just assume that it's always been not good. And whichever genre you grew up being exposed to at, in your late teens, early 20s is what's going to stick with you as the best or your favorite.
Well, that's why I asked if am I just a cranky old man or has music
Yes.
peaked in the fucking 90s and just has dropped since then?
No, it's definitely cranky old man.
Really? You're saying that there's good popular music out there that I'm just not listening to?
I'm saying it's no worse than what was available in the 90s.
Because
Can you back this
when you
theory
think
up?
about the 90s, you were thinking about the stuff you listened to, probably a grunge or
Right,
fucking...
if you're thinking about 90s alt-rock, it's never going to get as good as that. That was the best.
Well, that's what I'm
But
saying.
there was other shit that was being played outside
But
of
listen,
alt-rock
I
in the
understand
90s.
that pop music has been around and will never go away. And I know that music kind of has like a fluctuation where it's like, okay, boy bands are going to be very popular now, and then it's going to slope down, and guys who play actual instruments will be popular right now. And it seemed like it was going that way for a while, and then somewhere after the late 90s, it just seemed to fucking dip all the way down, and like it's just all pop, R&B, shit like that. Ian says no. I'm just a cranky old man.
There's some good music out now. I have to agree with Ian. I know a lot of people who have the same stance as you do, and for a while I did too. But there's a lot of good. There's a local station out here, which unfortunately, honestly, its last day on the air is tomorrow. It's only been around for a year and a half, but it's all alternative stuff for the most part. It's called 87.7 Cleveland Sound, and it plays the shit that nobody else plays on the radio. And I don't know if it never got a niche, it never got a following, but it's going off the air. And they play lots of like good stuff. And it's people that might say they're hipster bands, but I feel that they play some good music. And for the life of me, half the bands I can't even remember the names of.
Well, I'm not denying that that music comes out that's pretty good. I mean, there's a ton of bands that I could rattle off that are new that I like some of their music, but they're just not nearly as popular as alt rock was in the 90s.
Right. But it's coming. I think it still comes in waves, like you were saying. First you get a wave of boy bands that's super popular, and then that dies down, and a wave of something else that's all similar. Like as far as again, it's been 2 months since I've listened to the radio because I only get 2 radio stations out here in the sticks, and since November they've been playing nothing but Christmas music. So if something new has happened, if something new has happened, I don't know it. But when I last left the radio, if you had a pop music / bluegrassy sound and you sounded anything like Mumford & Sons and you'd like to say ho and hey, you were the fucking shit. Like there was probably half a dozen bands that cranked out songs that all sounded exactly like that.
Right, but those bands are not reaching Justin Bieber numbers or Beyonce numbers.
They never will.
But that's the thing.
They never came that close in the 90s. The people in the 90s weren't reaching anywhere near NSYNC numbers or Backstreet numbers.
No. Mm-hmm. Even Nirvana?
Yeah, Pearl Jam?
Yeah, I forgot about them. That's pretty damn close.
I forgot about the largest bands in the 90s.
I really did. They slipped my mind. And they were, you're right, there was...
Not talking Susie and the Banshees and fucking...
Right, you're right.
Catherine Wheel.
I've got to...
Cracker.
Right. And now I've got to take a minute to compose myself and think, but I assume that there have to be bands that not similar to them because no one is putting out a grunge sound anymore.
Well, I'm not even saying a grunge sound. I'm saying like a legitimate, like a music where, and let me preface this by saying there were a lot of one-hit wonders that came out of the late 90s and the alt-rock stuff that I still love to death, but they never went anywhere. And their albums, the rest of the album probably sucked, but wow, I just totally lost my train of thought, man. What the fuck was I going to say?
You like bands that play music.
Yeah, that's right. So there doesn't seem... Yeah. No, you actually got me on track. But it seems like there's nothing is ever going to seem to reach those heights that has any meaning behind it. And I'm not saying all the songs in the 90s had any meaning behind them.
Correct. I understand what you're saying now. You're right. There are no rock bands that I can think of off the top of my head that are, come close to the popularity of the boy band type pop music currently.
Yeah, it almost seems like they won't let it die. It's like as soon as one's out, they fucking shove another one down your throat, like that. Like One Direction. Like I hear about that all the time. One Direction.
Money makers, dude. Why the fuck would they stop?
Right.
I understand that too, but
I don't think it's gone. I think it's in a slump. Because I think it's still got to be there, and I think it will revive itself at some point. But you're right. All the bands that are, alternative in some way or, rocky in some way, none of them are standing out. None of them are distinguishable for me. I don't know if I'm listening to Imagine Dragons or Arcade Fire or Vampire Weekend. They're all the same goddamn band to me.
Just it's all emotional and shit. No, I agree with you.
Half of those, I'm pretty sure, are the ones where I was just saying, oh, some of those are pretty good.
No, we're not saying they're bad.
I like some of those.
Yeah, they're not bad. Right. They're just indistinguishable because they only ever have, one hit that becomes popular and then they become that next band.
No, but Ian's right, though. I mean, listen, it's a business, and if the Lumineers come out with a song called Ho Hey that Ian already brought up and is a fucking somewhat semi-hit, then you're going to see lots of clones of that for a little bit, unfortunately.
You know the name of the band.
Yeah, I used to be a bartender.
I was going to say, I could not pull that band name out of my ass if you asked me to. I know the song, but I'm terrible with the band names.
Oh, well, when you're sitting there and people are like, hey, what's that song, man? I want to play that. Hey, I got to look that shit up and find it on the jukebox for him.
Vampire Weekend.
I know. I couldn't tell you a song from Vampire Weekend, but I have heard the band name.
I have
Arcade Fire.
heard of them too, and it's honestly only because they've hosted Saturday Night Live at some point or another in the last 2 seasons.
New Politics?
No idea.
And I know
Langhorne Slim and the Law?
I know Imagine Dragons because I really thought that Radioactive song was pretty good. And then I went and investigated more of their songs. I was like, nope, these guys suck.
Yeah. They have one or two others that are okay, but they're mostly radio thing. Like, you know.
Yeah, I was like, oh, cool, something new, something good. And I was like, oh, they sang that one too? I didn't like that song. This
station that I was talking about out here that's going off the air, they've been playing these. First of all, they play a lot of songs from the late 90s or the mid to late 90s. So, do you remember the band Semisonic?
Yeah.
I'm sure you do because of Closing Time. Now, I actually liked that album. So, the Closing Time got driven into the ground, but the rest of the album I thought was okay. And I've heard them playing like deep cuts off that album that never have been on the radio. And I was like, holy shit, they're playing these weird songs, and it made me remember like, oh god, college and the music. So wait, the oh my god, I sound like I'm retarded. The topic you brought up
me a second ago, motherfucker.
Well, no, that was also brought up to me is that I sounded retarded at the end of last week's episode.
Why? Because of the question, or?
Well, not only the question, but apparently I was like, I don't know, like I was having a stroke on the microphone. Like I couldn't speak and I sounded slurry. I'm like, oh.
Well, wait a minute.
I
Was
had
that
a drink.
One of the stingers I left in, or part of the actual show?
I don't know. I think it was the actual show. I think it was mentioned around the time of the Twitter question.
Well, you were drinking last week, right?
I only had a beverage.
It doesn't matter. I can tell the difference when you're drinking and when you're not. You get way calmer, way slower when you're drinking. It's not bad.
Just like to take my time. I don't know what to...
I'm gonna have to re-listen because I don't think there was ever a point where I was listening when I was doing the edit. I was like, what the fuck happened to Brian? Is his eye twitching?
Stroking out over here. Anyway, I've been thinking about this very recently because of the music stuff that the station around here. The music was so good, and I've been trying to find music I like on the radio, and typically I just end up listening to podcasts and plugging it in my phone and my headphones on the drive back and forth to work. And I rarely listen to the radio until this station came along, and I started listening to the radio again. And now I'm just going to go back to doing my own thing and finding one song every now and again that sounds really good and throwing it on my phone and listening to that, like "Get Lucky" by Daft Punk, or just song like I like "Royals" by Lord. I think that's a really good song.
You're right. A gem does sneak through every now and again. I really liked, I can't remember the title of the song, but the Alabama Shakes had a hit.
I've never heard of them.
Oh, fantastic.
It's probably a local band around.
Absolutely not. Nope. They are a national act. Again, I saw them on Saturday Night Live, and I had saw them twice just to make sure they were as good as I thought, because I was incredibly high the first time I saw them, and they were the best band I'd ever heard. And the second time I saw them, they were just as good, and I was like, oh, okay, good, they're legitimate.
I feel bad for you guys. We have a pretty decent alt-rock station out here that doesn't seem like it's going away anytime soon. It's been here for like 15 years.
No, this station just came around, and I'm so sad to see it go. Kim's beside herself. My wife is just like, why? Why is this station going away?
Why don't you guys just listen?
Because the other one is like top 40, and the other one is the other one's not terrible, but they just drive they drive some songs right into the ground, like right into the ground.
There's a station out towards Scranton that, like, the station by me it plays very popular alt rock hits. Like, you very rarely will hear some old shit. Occasionally they'll sprinkle it in, some fucking Green Day or some bullshit like that. But there's one out in Scranton. I can't remember the name of it, but I always hear it when I go out to the casino. They'll play some new shit, and they will fucking drop some 95, 96 one-hit wonder shit that you like. Disneyland. Remember that song Disneyland?
Oh, going to Disneyland?
Yeah. Like, you hear that kind of shit on there. Adam's like, what the fuck?
How do I not know that song?
YouTube it. You'll remember. It's Dizzneeland.
Oh my god.
I can't.
Of course it is.
I can't remember. It was the '90s, man. That was fucking
Right.
hip and cool.
That's what I'm saying. Of course it was spelled with 2 Z's and 2 E's. It was the 90s.
I'm not gonna start singing it for you. So
Please, no, you're fine. I'll go look it up later. If you're a really good editor, you'll find that song and stick it in so we can hear it while we're talking.
teach me how to do that. I will.
You just
teach me
download
later.
that song. I know. I'm telling you. I'm just gonna tell you now so you can edit it out. You just find that song and stick it in as another track under us, and then you just lower the volume.
Really?
Yeah. That's all you gotta do. That's how I do in the beginning and end of the show is when you hear that music going in and out.
I mean to talk to you about that music.
Okay.
Where do you download songs from?
You can get them off YouTube.
You can download them
You
from
can-
YouTube.
There's a website I can send you the link for. Again, this is all going to get cut out, but
Cool. I got a
I
fart.
can send you.
Oh, you
brown
just
note.
made the stinger.
There's a URL, and all you have to do is basically find whatever music you want off YouTube and get the URL for YouTube and stick it in there, and it'll download you an MP3 of that song.
That is fucking awesome. Cool.
It works most of the time. For some of them, it's like, oh, we couldn't find it, but Kim hit me to it one time, and I use it frequently.
That's awesome.
YouTube converter. I bet that's it. There it is. Boom. I'll send you the link right now.
Well, the reason I brought up all this music stuff, besides, I mean, I don't listen to too much pop rock and shit like that, so that stuff goes right over my head. But recently I was hanging out with a friend of mine. Well, I shouldn't say recent. It was a few months ago. And we were drinking, and we started listening to music, and I was like, oh, do you like this? Do you like that? And she was like, yeah, I fucking love all that 90s shit. And we had discovered that we had a shared love of the 90s music, right? And she was going on and on. She's like, I'm so fucking jealous of you that you got to live through that. I was like, yeah. I'm like, I mean, when that shit was breaking, I was like 18 to 25. I'm like, you couldn't have asked for a better time for fucking 90s alt rock and to be into that shit. And I'm like, you want me to even rub it in further? And she's like, what? I'm like, I was a fucking DJ, a radio DJ at an alt rock station, right, when that was going on. I mean, I was fucking steeped in that shit. And that's what got me thinking about all the music and stuff. This might have been...
Did she get all wet for you when you told her you were a DJ?
Unfortunately not. I think she already knew that, though. But she probably thought I worked at a country station or something. I was Cowboy Jared.
Howdy, partners.
That was before I met you guys. That's my secret radio shame that I don't tell anybody. I worked for Froggy. But then, that got me thinking, too. I'm like, what do you think about some of those old DJs back in the day when we were working? You think Johnny Walker's still around State College doing shit?
I would be
yeah.
surprised, but yeah, he can't. I don't know. How long can you maintain that sort of persona / lifestyle?
I don't know. I mean, he was pretty fucking haggard when we knew him. So
I
for all we
know.
he could be dead.
There are DJs back in Scranton that have been there since I was like a teenager, and they're still on the air.
Nice.
Jumpin' Jeff Walker.
Rusty Fender?
I don't know if Rusty Fender is. I know Jumpin' Jeff Walker at 98.5 KRZ. I'm pretty sure he's still around, and he's older than dirt. There's 2 DJs in New Jersey, Scott and Todd, that were around from, I know when Kim was a teenager.
Didn't
they were
Scott and
or at
Todd-
least one of them was. Scott was.
Didn't Scott and Todd fucking replace us?
No, that was Tom and
That was
Bob and Tom.
Bob and Tom.
Bob and Tom
Tom
replaced
morning
us.
show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scott and Todd are
Right.
mid-drive drive DJs out in Jersey. And Scott, I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember his fucking name, but he has been around forever.
Well, in that
And he's
case,
still on the radio.
yeah, in that case, I don't doubt it. I am
you
now
think they're-
95% certain that Johnny Walker is on the air as Johnny Walker.
They're fucking
As a matter
reeling
of
his ass
fact,
in.
right. I was driving home from State College the other day, and I was listening to a radio station there, and I heard a DJ who was an intern like 15, maybe 17 years ago, and I knew him loosely, just from State College. If you're not a student, it's a pretty small town, and you get to know everybody. Long story longer, they were like, the liner that was on the station that he works for now was like, I'm small child, and I'm other small child. We're the small children of this DJ. And I was like, oh my God, he's like a full-on just, married family man DJ, because he was a complete degenerate when I knew him. So
Wait, he was an intern where?
At Quick Rock.
Oh, okay. How did you know he was? Oh, you knew him because you were friends with him.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
I knew him because we were acquaintances.
I was like, when did you fucking work at Quick Rock, you fucking traitor?
Never.
Yeah, that's right. You're fucking Revolution 1011 boy. Through and through. Black and blue.
That was
because the logo was black and blue.
Right, I got it. I was on board.
Ted is a fucking Nazi.
Ooh, that's a well-known fact.
Did I ever tell you this story, Adam?
No, you never told me this.
Right.
I thought that was just kind of like a one-liner. Like, we just know that that's a fact. Just like Ted really loves Easter sweaters for every season.
That man loved pastel.
Oh, boy.
What a fucking wacky setup that place was. Very quickly, I'll tell the story. We had two owners. One was a GM and one was the owner. They're both named Ted. But when I was still working overnights, you would get these fucking random phone calls from people, like, just out of the blue. And this girl was calling me over and over again. And she was what is commonly known in radio as the station slut. She was fucking her way through every goddamn DJ there. And it was my turn in line. And so we were talking, and she's like, oh, I used to party with Ted all the time, and blah, 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 Ted, the owner. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice, right? And she's like, no, you don't understand. He's fucking crazy. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's nice. She's like, you don't understand. He's got this cabin in the woods, right? And inside the cabin, he's got a big German flag. And I'm like, so what? Right? I'm like, so the man's proud to be German, right? She's like, no, it's a German flag. I'm like, yeah, I gotcha. A fucking German flag, right? And she's like, I'm like, are you talking about a fucking swastika? Right? And she's like, yeah, you know, the German flag, the red one with the... I'm like, that's not a German flag. I go, but let's back up for a second. I go, are you telling me my boss, the guy who signs my paycheck, has got a gigantic fucking Nazi swastika flag in his house, in this special cabin? She goes, yeah, he hangs out with a lot of skinheads and shit like that. And she's like, he's got a German Shepherd, too. It's named, like, something weird. I'm like, is it Grrbbels? She's like, yeah.
But, like with multiple R's, like, grrr.
Yeah.
Because it's a dog.
Like girl power. So, the best part about this is, though, now, granted, you know, you guys make fun of me about being Jewish and stuff like that, and that's definitely my family's roots and stuff like that, but I think even at that time I was an atheist, but I kind of, like, glossed over that and didn't want to think about it and kept that Jewish shit really under wraps after that. But what I found funny was when I got promoted to the morning show and they told me to bring on a partner, I brought in an even Jewier motherfucker than me. And this guy, Ted, would take us out and wine and dine us and stuff like that. And I'm like, this guy has no idea he hired two fucking Jews to do his morning show.
He's probably fattening you up for the oven.
Right.
And we lost everybody else. I found an article from and Johnny Walker is quoted in it, but it was from '96, talking about a midnight opening for sales of REM, most recently Fish, Midnight Oil, Counting Crows, Korn, and the John Spencer Blues Explosion.
I remember John Spencer Blues Explosion.
They were having a Midnight Madness sale for Pearl Jam's latest, shittiest release, No Code. Oh, that fucking terrible album. Sorry.
It's okay.
No other info on John. Wait, Johnny Walker has a Wikipedia thing.
That's not him.
Are you sure?
That's the I was looking at it.
Well, there's two of them.
There's like 8 of them.
Oh,
There's one who was a British,
Jesus,
pirate DJ. The other one is one who died in 2004 from complications to lung cancer, but it's not our Johnny Walker.
Okay, I was like, that's him.
That other guy worked with Robin Quivers at one point.
I don't think our Johnny Walker ever worked at BBC.
No, I was going to say he also was British. So
okay, I was going to say that worked with Robin. I was like, it's plausible. Jared's old nemesis, Johnny Ray, worked on the Stern Show for a little while.
Who's Johnny Ray?
Are you fucking kidding me? We're going to have this conversation again?
Again? I don't remember this.
We had it in the first non-episode.
Did we really?
Johnny Ray, long-haired doofus, worked at the Buzzard? No, B?
No,
the
yeah,
B?
whichever one. Oh, there was a station that was
B103.
Buzz? No.
No, it was like a 105.9. The Buzz.
The Buzz.
It was from.
He would show up down the coffee shop every now and again.
Yeah, he stole your Naked Jared routine.
Yeah.
Was this after I left?
No.
No, we were
God
on
damn
the
it! If I know him, you know him.
Ooh,
right.
I smoked a lot of
He
weed
was-
back then.
Right. He showed up. He was on. He hung around the Revolution a couple times. He was on the air the night that I was hosting a show and got all wasted with Reggie. We were on the air for like 45 minutes talking about nonsense.
Your pants.
Yeah.
Talking about your pants.
Talking
yeah.
about my chunky pants. Yeah, that was a debacle.
And why did I dislike this Johnny Ray Ray guy?
I don't know.
Because he stole your bit.
Yeah, he stole your bet.
He stole your Naked Jared bit.
Yep.
Asshole. Now I hate him
Bit
all
on the
over again.
buzz.
What is the Naked Jared bit?
Oh,
That's it.
Jesus.
That's the whole bit. Jared did the overnight shift naked.
Oh, all right.
Naked Jared got me laid quite a bit.
I was just gonna say it was effective.
Yes, I absolutely hated it at first. I fucking fought so hard against Naked Jared, and in the end, it paid off in spades.
And pussy.
When I learned to
Get it?
Yes, I got it.
Yes, you did.
Poor fat Frank. You know how many times he came into that fucking station in the middle of the night? Probably sat in my fucking cum.
God damn it.
That's a stinger.
Frank. No, it's gross is what it is.
It's
What's
really
that?
gross stinger.
I said it's gross is what it is.
You left.
I laugh at gross things.
Yep. Remember when we made that girl drink out of the toilet bowl?
Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
She was,
Can't get away with that shit nowadays.
she
I'll tell you
was
that.
totally down with it. She was like, "Yeah, that water's clean." And I was like, "Yeah."
For what
sure it is."
tickets? She was for tickets, right?
Yeah.
For something.
Mighty Mighty
311?
Boston's.
Oh, was it Boston's or three? I thought it was 311 tickets.
It might have been.
Not sure.
The reason the Boston sticks on my head, because do you remember the bit we did? I don't know if you were there yet, Ian, when we got the girl to get changed into a bikini down
Yeah,
in the
and
station.
they made a Sunday out of her.
No. That was a different girl. We
Okay.
we had Boston tickets, and this is Andy was working on the show when this happened. And we're going on and on and on about how these are the last fucking tickets in all of State College. And we're giving them away. Meanwhile, we had 5 sets of them. This is day one. So we got this girl to come down, and she fucking... we really wanted to just get naked, but she buckled and just got changed in front of us, which we still got to see some titty, which was nice. And she got her Boston tickets and then left, and everything was fine. And then on Tuesday, the following morning... we mysteriously had another set of Boston tickets to give away. And this girl called. She actually fucking called up. She's like, "What the fuck? You guys told me that." I'm like, "We suddenly found another pair." And found another pair on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
That's good times.
That must have been very close to Andy getting fired because Gina was with me at that Boston concert, but it was Andy who
Yes.
gave
Right.
it away. Yeah.
Right.
Good time.
Well, we probably gave him away a month ahead of time at least.
Yeah.
Right. It probably was right on the cusp. You are correct.
We came up with a lot of fun contests when we were doing that show, as I recall.
I agree.
Do you remember when the high school kids came in and interned with us for a day?
I don't remember that at all.
No,
You don't
I
remember
don't
that?
remember that at all either.
Oh,
No.
these 2 high school kids came in. It was a guy and a girl. And it was one of those work study things. I don't know what the fuck it was, right? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, they let you guys in here with us? You know? And the one kid was really up for doing anything. And we had gift certificates for a massage parlor or something like that. A legit massage parlor, not a happy ending one. And we were racking our brains for something. And I know, Brian, you were in on this because you were out there with the kid on the cell phone, the bag phone, the gigantic book bag phone.
Right.
We had the kid go out onto fucking College Avenue in front of McClanahan's and drop down all of a sudden in front of everybody and start grabbing his legs and shit like he was in pain. And the first person that went over and helped him, he was going to give him the free massage for being like a good Samaritan. You don't remember this?
No, my God, no, I don't remember.
You're like, and I'm like, Brian, what's going on? He's like, he's on the ground. Right. And then, so the kid dropped down. And he's screaming and yelling. He's like grabbing his knees, like, "Oh my God, I'm in so much pain! Everybody just kept walking right by this kid. Finally, this fucking girl like stops down like after like a minute or so. She's like, "Are you okay?" And the kid fucking springs up. He's like, "You just want yourself a free massage!" And she starts fucking running down the street.
No, I don't remember any of this.
Maybe you weren't in on that. You don't remember that? Maybe we gave the
my
bag phone
God.
to the kid.
The other kid?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could have been. I
Neither
don't
one of you
remember
were
that
there
at all.
for that. Oh my God!
Nah,
that was
I
fucking
think it was
hilarious.
before our time.
We're like, chase her down, give her that. They're so excited when we had something to give away besides free bagels.
Few and far between.
Beekman's Bagel Deli. Love it.
I'm pretty sure I still have some free CDs from the CD stash that we had to give away shit from.
Are you kidding me? That's how I fucking...
The prize closet.
That's how I ate every week, by stealing CDs out of there and selling them back to Mike's.
Mike's or the other place that I can't remember the name of, down all the way down the other end of town.
Yeah, because I made a whopping fucking $96 a week there. Well, fucking Johnny Walker had a company car.
You're not bitter, though. That's all right.
Yeah.
Not at all. Johnny ended up working at our station, right? At the end of it, before we left?
Probably. I think it was after we left.
It had to be after. I don't remember being there when we left.
No, but everybody worked, at one of the 4 radio stations at every point in their career.
Johnny Walker. He sounded like Wolfman Jack, as I recall, right?
He looked like Wolfman Jack, if I recall.
Dude, he looked like fucking Wolfman Jack's corpse. That's what he looked like. That guy earned that fucking Johnny Walker moniker. Holy shit. All right, let's get off this fucking radio talk that nobody knows anything about.
Okay.
So, over Christmas break, I saw 2 movies. Well, not Christmas break, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Over the Christmas week, I saw 2 films.
Holy
did you guys actually see any films
I did.
Recently?
I did, much to my own surprise. I had company, and so we went to go see Catching Fire finally.
Oh. How's that, sir?
Glorious. I was super sketchy at the beginning because all the trailers... When you see the trailers before a movie, it gives you, a sense of the type of audience that the movie is geared for. And all the trailers were fucking horrible. There were all these, tween-aged girls things, the wizards and vampires, and it was just looked terrible. Terrible, and then the movie was excellent. It was absolutely excellent. I'm excited for the third.
I was going to say, I know the third is split into 2 movies,
Yeah,
so I hope
I
you're
know.
really excited.
Not that excited, but...
Now, there's only 3 books, though, right?
Right.
Right.
Oh, fucking Hollywood.
They went for the cash grab on the last,
Goddamn
the last
Harry
book.
Potter, you just fucking kick
Yeah.
this goddamn shit off.
Absolutely.
Now, did you read those books? I can't remember if we discussed that.
I did not.
Okay. Now, did you really not read those books, or are you lying again?
No, honestly, okay. I really have not read any of the Hunger Games series, for all the reasons we've discussed.
And he did state he doesn't read fiction.
They're gonna make a movie out of it eventually. The movies look like they're gonna be excellent. I don't want to ruin it. And honestly, in the very beginning, I was really upset because, they were clearly ripping off Battle Royale, and no one was calling them on it.
Right. Oh, totally. When someone explained the premise of the books to me,
I was like, I saw that
it's Battle
10
Royale,
years
got
ago,
it.
and it was glorious.
Yeah.
So no, I have not read those books. I've not read the Harry Potter books. I've still not read the Game of Thrones books since we discussed it earlier in the show.
You haven't read them since we discussed it earlier in the show?
No. Every now and again, someone will recommend something for me, and then I'll find out that they're just about to make a movie out of it. So I'm not going to.
We'll check back with you at the end of the show, see if you read any of those
Right,
books.
to
See if I read Game of
yet.
Thrones yet.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. I saw 2 movies. One really good. One really shitty.
Ooh.
That's your opinion.
No.
We only want to hear about the shitty one.
I can
I
only.
know.
I feel like I know one of them, and I assume, or at least hope, the good one is American Hustle.
I saw American Hustle, and it was probably one of the best movies I've seen this year.
Oh man, I hope the shitty one's 47 Ronin.
Were you not here earlier when we were talking about this?
No, he wasn't.
Oh, he
no,
wasn't?
he wasn't
Okay,
on,
I'm sorry.
He wasn't online
He
yet.
really is acting like he's surprised.
Good acting. American Hustle, I had no idea what it was about going into it.
Right.
I knew most of the people who were in it. I didn't really know. I knew it was about some con artists or something like that, but I didn't really get anything else out of the plot. So I was pleasantly surprised about what it was about. I enjoyed the plot. It was pretty good. It was pretty well written. It was based on real life events that have happened, but obviously the entire story is not true. And you, in the very beginning, it will take you a beat to recognize Christian Bale.
Unless you saw the trailer and then you...
Well, that's the thing. It's okay. So I didn't. So I didn't realize, he's on screen for, the first 30 or 40 seconds of the movie is him getting ready for something. And I barely recognized him. He's got, 40 or 50 extra pounds. He's putting on a hairpiece.
Nice.
He's got a big beard and, crazy sunglasses.
Brian, this doesn't mean anything. You still haven't seen Paul Giamatti in the Spider-Man trailer.
Maybe I did see the American Hustle trailer and I just don't remember anything about it.
Right?
I think Paul Giamatti's in that too.
I have a blind spot for trailers. I don't know what it is.
Or Paul Giamatti.
Right. So, American Hustle, Amy Adams, like, almost never has her nipples covered. Like, throughout the entire movie, you just almost see her nipples through in the entire movie. She has, like, those crazy 70s shirts on that are, like, wide open.
That's
Wow,
so
that's
why
just
if I had a
plain
time
thoughtful.
machine, I'd go live in the 70s for those fashions.
The acting was really, really good.
Well, it had an all-star cast.
It really
It did. It really did. Jeremy Renner was fantastic in it. And while we're at it, since we were talking about Catching Fire, Jennifer Lawrence was phenomenal.
Awesome.
And I see her, and I kept hearing the hype about her and all this other stuff, and I still have not seen Silver Linings Playbook,
Very good.
which is made by the same dude, O'Russell. Is that his name? His last
David
name?
I have
O'Russell.
no idea.
David O'Russell, yes. So, made by the same
I haven't
person.
seen either of these
stars
movies, and I know that. I don't know how I know that. Go on.
I can't remember people's names. So, stars a lot of the same people too. It's got
Right. Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence.
and De Niro.
Yes. Oh, De
Isn't
Niro's
it?
in American Hustle as well?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Small part, but he's in it.
Right.
So, I was just floored by how well it was done. The music that was in it, the acting, the dialogue, everything was really great about it. I enjoyed it very much. I kind of dragged my wife to see it. We were talking about going to see a movie, and she also did not know much about it. And we had been talking about going to see, like, Saving Mr. Banks or Anchorman 2. Anchorman 2 we've been talking about going to see for a long time, so
Sure.
we wanted to really go see that. But the timing just didn't work out, so we ended up going. This was like 40 minutes earlier than any of the other shows, and it was late at night, so we went to see this instead, and it really paid off.
Good.
It was a good movie. I highly recommend it.
Positive reviews are boring. Give me a fucking nasty-ass review of Anchorman 2.
Well, thanks for spoiling it for me. The second movie
I thought we
saw.
said this already.
No, we have not said
I'm
it.
sorry if everybody was on the seat or...
Everyone was on the call prior to the show starting, apparently.
No, I meant all the listeners on the edge of their seats waiting to see what the second movie was.
They were, man. I got people waiting to hear what I gotta say.
Even
And then
I was
wonder what it
riveted.
was I actually fucking said, and then yell at me on Twitter about it.
All right, well,
We'll get to why it's not funny.
Well, no. I will get to the fact that this movie has a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is typically like your average film,
Right.
right? An average good film.
Sure.
So, and I've heard good things. I had people tell me, oh, it's just as funny as the first Anchorman. Oh, there's maybe a couple things that don't float so well, or there's too much Brick. Or because Brick has his girlfriend, which is Lady Brick, which is Kristen Wiig. Like maybe that takes away from it.
Right.
It was just a shameless cash grab off the coattails of the first movie. Like it took them so long to make this pile of shit. I don't know why it took them so long that they didn't just fucking fire this one out right after the other one. They would have got more money based off of how popular the first one was when it first came out. This movie, the plot. Okay. So I know that it's not about the plot, right? Part of the plot was actually interesting about how the team goes and kind of revolutionizes the whole 24-hour news business. It's like CNN type style. But the writing is bad. The characters, like they brought back Paul Rudd and Steve Carell, and for the life of me, I can never fucking remember that other guy's name.
Yeah.
Ketchner.
Ketchner.
Yeah, Ketchner. And honestly, they're almost barely in it, except for Carell, because he has a whole storyline where he falls in love with this
Are
woman
you
who's
serious?
just
Is that
like
what
him.
they did?
Oh, there's what do you mean? The love storyline?
No, because the only thing, when I saw the trailer, I was pretty hyped for the trailer because I love the first one. There was one scene in there where you see Steve Carell and Kristen Wiig talking to each other, and I'm like, oh, they're doing like a female Brick thing, and they're talking to each other. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking lame. And then I was like, I hope that, like, the first movie, he really had the right amount of Steve Carell in it for me. Like, getting overpowered, and that's probably because he wasn't like that humongous then. But is this more based because of his popularity? So he like takes up a gigantic chunk of the movie.
he has a lot of lines in it where obviously they're Brick things that Brick would say, but half of them aren't funny. And then there's a lot of stuff that Will Ferrell says that's not funny. They play off the Odin's beard line, like by Odin's beard.
Right.
You know, I'm pretty sure that's that the only time he says something like that in the first movie, or does he say other variations of it in the first movie?
He says all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, but by Odin's beard, like he only says that once in the first movie, doesn't he? I don't remember him saying different variations of that line.
No,
I could be wrong.
It's once.
He says 8 different variations of that line, like not by Odin's beard, but different things. Do you know what I mean?
So just into the
by
ground.
Jared's gut and by Ian's hair, like just terrible. Just the writing was so bad. It was so bad. There was only maybe 2 or 3 times where I laughed out loud in the film, and you've seen those mostly in the trailers,
Right.
There is, however, a 25-minute long homage at the end of this movie to the news fight scene at the end of the first movie.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So it's just a rehash of that, just not with the same news teams. It's all now they're all global news teams.
Oh, okay.
So sorry if it's a spoiler for anyone,
Meh.
but holy Christ, was this movie bad? Oh man.
Well, I'm sad.
I can't get
still
over
wanna
how
see
bad it
but-
was. I would not recommend this film. Like, heavily, stay away from this movie. Kim, after I saw it, I had written, breaking news, Anchorman 2 is the biggest piece of shit I've seen this year. And then I said it stank like Bigfoot's dick.
That's
And-
unnecessarily graphic.
It's also from the first movie. That was the whole
Oh,
thing.
really?
That's one of the things that Sex Panthers stinks like. It
Oh.
stinks like Bigfoot's dick. It
I always
it smells
preferred
like a
Indian
used
food.
diaper filled with
Used
Indian
baby's
food.
diaper.
Kim then tweeted, "Hey, when you go to buy tickets for Anchorman 2, say American Hustle, because it's terrible."
So Brian's recommendation is wait for HBO.
No, my recommendation is go watch Anchorman 2 twice
Twice.
and just pretend that go watch Anchorman
A second
twice
time?
and
Okay.
pretend that Anchorman 2 didn't exist.
No, I'm definitely gonna have to red box it when it gets to that point.
So we'll rehash this in 9 months.
Right, if that recently. Well, because they had teased some extra features. I had read an article that there was so much
Yes.
improvisation that had gone on. There will be that Anchorman 2, when it hits DVD, will have 2 versions, and the second version is the exact same movie, but 100% of the jokes are different.
Maybe that's the good version. Maybe I saw.
Maybe you
the
saw
one
the
with all
throwaway
bad
version.
jokes.
Is this like when Clue came out? It had 3 different
There's
endings.
3 different endings. Yeah.
Not quite that good. That movie was
Because
excellent.
They're like, sorry,
I can't
sucker.
believe it's got
You picked the
74%.
shitty version of Anchorman too.
Yeah, well,
I can't believe that this has such a good rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's why I'm surprised that you. I mean, I
Right.
said, I've seen a few reviews on it, and everybody was like, "I was so surprised. It's so great." I don't know, Brian. You didn't
glad
like
you
The
had
Hobbit either. So I don't know what
success.
I don't know what to make of this.
he liked the
I
last
liked,
third
I
of
liked
it.
half of The Hobbit. I like The Hobbit better than this. I'll tell you that. Holy crap!
Wow. Okay.
I mean, completely different genres, obviously, but I'd rather go sit through The Hobbit again than sit through that. Yeah,
I feel
That's
very
too bad.
strongly.
At least
I
you got
do.
50% success rate on going to the movies over your holiday break.
yes. Like I said, American Hustle was very good. I would have liked to have seen Wolf of Wall Street. I don't know if I'll get a chance to end up seeing that anytime soon, but that's the next movie I'm really looking forward to seeing. Saving Mr. Banks was one where Kim wants to see that, and I would just
Right.
go along.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I hear you.
No, actually, I heard it wasn't that bad.
The best thing about seeing this movie was one of the trailers I saw
Which was
called Welcome to Yesterday.
Oh my
Oh.
God! Don't even tell me you liked that trailer.
I only liked it because it has to do with time travel. The rest of it is a teen fuckfest
Brian.
that looks like it's going to be bad, but
Brian.
I like time travel movies.
Please, sir, you're gonna talk to me. I want to do a whole podcast about fucking time travel movies. I can fucking talk about it for hours. But
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for this, and I was just talking to these guys about it yesterday. No pun intended. And I was like, this was some of the worst acting I've ever seen in a fucking movie. Like, did you think this too?
I didn't say that it looks like a good movie. I said I liked the trailer only because of the time travel.
Oh.
And it was still part of the best part of this movie, of watching this movie in the theater.
Oh my God! I was watching this, and the guy's like, I don't want to get into what the trailer's about or anything like that, but he's like, hey guys, wait a second, I found a video camera of my 7th birthday party. I'm like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
going on here?
Yeah.
It's that
And it's
bad.
all
You
teen, it's all
should watch this.
teeny.
Just-
It's all tweener movie things.
It's
but
a fucking Chronicle ripoff.
yes, that is what came to my mind when I was watching the trailer. but it's all about time travel. It actually looks like a cross between like Chronicle and the Butterfly Effect to me.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Butterfly
I
Effect?
own the Butterfly Effect. I love that movie.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
You don't like that?
Jesus,
It's a fucking great
I've
flick.
only seen it once,
Oh,
so
yeah. I mean, I'm not a big Ashton Kutcher fan, but I thought
No
he was
one
pretty
is.
good in this.
as far as time travel movies go,
Yeah, it had a.
or as far as Ashton Kutcher movies go.
I thought he was not offensive to me in it at all. I thought he acted pretty well in it. I think that he might actually be a good actor. He just seems to get picked for these bad roles. I'm not saying he's fucking De Niro.
Right.
Please.
You're
We
just
all
saying
know.
he wasn't particularly offensive in the Butterfly Effect.
Yeah, we all know Topher is the De Niro of that crew.
I'm glad that you want to do a whole podcast about time travel movies. I'll make sure I do all of my homework because I have a lot of them I want to talk about.
Oh, yeah, that is one where I could get behind doing a maybe it's not a top 3, but a top 1 and a worst one. Like the best time travel movie and the worst time travel movie.
Oh man, the worst time travel movie.
The Lake House. It's The Lake House, hands down.
Well, the time traveling mailbox.
That was such a terrible movie.
I've never seen it because it looks terrible.
My girlfriend wanted to see it, and oh god.
I wouldn't consider that a time travel film. Though. I know that it.
No, it is. He
involves,
explained the plot to me. There's
time travel.
Yeah.
No, I know there is. I just wouldn't put it in line with. It's more of a romantic love story with the MacGuffin of time travel.
I like the Family Guy version better, where the guy sticks his dick in the mailbox. I would have gone and seen that movie. Brian, I know the worst time travel movie because I think I went and saw it with you.
Oh man,
You'll have to think on that. We'll do this next week. That'll be next week's show.
perfect for the new year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you guys have anything?
You saw the worst time travel film with me. Oh my goodness.
Right.
We
Do you
saw-
guys have anything lined up for the most overrated holiday of the entire year?
New Year's?
Oh
Christmas?
God, I hate New Year's.
Why? How could you- what-
Because
But Ian's a
it's
fucking
always-
communist. I'm convinced
it's always
now.
a letdown. There's nothing good about it.
Is it
like,
like
I-
after
I've-
Y2K, it's just never been the same.
It's really been all downhill since then. Mostly because I've gotten older. It lacks appeal. Like my plans, I think they're excellent. They're super lame. They're kind of like living the Jared dream. It turns out, but actual New Year's celebrations, they're overpriced. They're overcrowded. Nothing.
Oh, so
nothing
you're
stands
like
out
going out
appropriately.
and doing shit in public on New Year's?
No, absolutely
I was
not.
gonna say you're fucking nuts. I'd never do that.
No, I said I was living the Jared dream. I am going to meet up with 5 other nerds. We're going to play Game of Thrones : the board game.
Oh my god, I'm coming too, Ian. I'm packing my bags now.
If you feel like I'm coming to State College, you are more than welcome.
Yeah, I got $40.
I'm
in
going
my name
to,
right now.
yeah, I'm going to drink a handful of assorted beers, and man, if I'm up till 11:30, it'll be a miracle.
Oh man, I take it back. You're not a communist. You're 80.
My New Year's Eve is pretty much the same thing. We're going to have some friends over for dinner and play a bunch of board games, drink a bunch of beers, and let the kids stay up as late as they want while we're getting drunk and playing board games. And maybe some Settlers of Catan, maybe some King of Tokyo, maybe
Ooh.
Do You Worship Cthulhu?
Ooh,
A couple other games I know we have laying around. So I just got Pandemic also for Christmas. That was another board game I received. It's a cooperative board game where you try to beat the game from spreading disease all over the country or all over the world.
Do you
I've
jerk
heard of
off
it.
on the
It looks
board?
good.
No,
I win.
not.
Let's play another game.
I have yet to play it. I just keep hearing great things about it, so I finally got it for myself for Christmas at a super cheap price and presented it to myself at Christmas.
There you go, Brian. Thank you, Brian.
Yes. But that's pretty much my New Year's too. That's all we ever do is kind of hang around here. Well, I haven't gone out for New Year's since 2000.
right?
Holy shit.
I'm with you. That's doom and gloom. Our new plans are the best plans ever.
Yeah, shit's expensive.
Yeah.
Why the fuck go out? Stay inside, drink a bunch of beers, and I barely ever watch the fucking New Year's Rockin' Eve horse shit either. You kidding?
Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
Jared,
Oh.
what sort of sweet plans do you have lined up?
I have no plans for
You're-
New Year's. I didn't watch any movies over this holiday break, but I did watch some interesting stuff on Netflix.
Like what, sir?
I watched the, you know that documentary, the 7 Up series?
Oh, yes. You know what? I'm sorry. I also watched... I'll just remember for later. I also watched something else on Netflix, a documentary. Go ahead.
Oh.
7 Up.
Yeah, would you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I've watched a few of them.
Oh, you have? Okay. Ian, have you ever watched them?
I don't know what you're talking about. Tell me more.
The documentary series from out of England where they film these group of kids at 7, then they film at 14, then at 21, 28.
Oh, no.
Oh. I got up to 28. How did you get, Brian?
I think that's probably where we got, and then I started falling asleep toward it, and then I never ended up watching it.
It is pretty dry in some scenes. When their lives are not interesting, you like, oh my god. Like, I just want to see what they look like and move forward.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. I mean, when you watch them back to back to back, you start seeing a lot of the same interviews from the past ones, so they could recap you, so it's a little boring. But it is kind of interesting to see how people change over 7 years.
That's what drew my wife and I to seeing that. She brought them to my attention a while ago and was like, "Oh, I've heard about these and they're on Netflix," and so we started watching them. And yes, it's very interesting to somebody had the concept to do this, to take a group of I think it was 30 kids or something originally. I can't remember how many, but
I think it's 15.
Okay, so they start at 7, and then like you said, 14, 21, and then some of them start, eventually I'm guessing dying out.
Well, they just did. They just did the latest one. I think it's 58 or something. I don't know, 56, something like.
It would be 56 if we were doing.
Yeah, 56 because it was 60. Yeah, 56.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. Yeah, 50. So
if they're on the 8th one, it would be 56. If you're doing multiples of 7, it's 49 or 56.
But I mean, even in the 28 one, which is the third or fourth one, some of them have already dropped off. They wouldn't even agree to be interviewed.
Yeah,
which I thought was interesting. At 28, and I don't know. Some of them, their lives are just fucking tailspinned into shit. And some of them, that one kid, I don't know how much you remember of it. How long ago did you?
I don't. It was years ago I saw these.
They interviewed this kid at 7, right? Because they took a cross section. They took rich kids,
people, poor
people, middle class, or a couple orphans, all kinds of shit, girls and this and that. But when they had this 3 rich kids, one of them, even at 7, you're like, this kid is going to grow up to be a fucking cunt. And he totally does. It is ridiculous. He didn't even, in the 28 one, he doesn't even agree to do it, right? In the 21 version of it, he could have been cast in any 80s flick as the evil guy on college. That, fucking prim and proper with his tie and his vest, and he's like, I think poor people should be able to pay for anything. And
I remember that guy now, yes.
This guy is like a cartoon character. I hope he comes back for the other ones. I want to know what this guy is doing. He's really the only one I was interested in. But I didn't realize that England, I mean, I don't know how much it is now, but back then had kind of a very strict class structure. If you were middle of the ground or poor, you're not going to Oxford, and shit like that. And even the one guy mentions, he's in America, he's like, they fucking take anybody in college. Anybody can go. He's like, not like that way in England.
Yeah, no, their class structure was pretty strict.
Is it still that way, or?
I don't believe so, but I cannot answer truthfully, honestly.
Yeah. Well, either way,
I do know that it was.
I'm going to try to barrel through all of it. I mean, this last one was 3 hours long. They really spent a lot of time. When you're and then Susie got married and had 3 kids, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
And we were going to talk to her for 20 minutes, and I'm like, ugh. Go.
That's why I remember. I think we both fell asleep during whichever the last one was we watched, which I think it was 28. And we just never ended up going back to it.
Oh. My favorite one is the one kid that, hasn't had a job in fucking 15 years, and he squats, and he fucking, it's just a total mess. I can't wait to see which one dies first. That's really what I'm watching it for.
Start a death pool.
I know, I was just going to say, I wish I could have sit down with someone who hadn't seen it before and be like, who do you think's going to die first? Come on, $10. It's Nigel, right? Come on, it's got to be Nigel. Do you want to do your Twitter thing?
No, I was just about to.
Right, good. I want to give you an intro this time because it sounds too jarring.
I don't have a Twitter question, though, yet. Do you want to? Anybody got one?
We'll do, I got a Twitter question.
Maybe you should ask it then.
No, I'm saying, do you want to do your Twitter pitch?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hit it up, son.
Okay. Sure. So you're not giving me an introduction?
That was the introduction.
Oh.
And a brief message from Brian.
Is this the show or is this the line for the tickets for the beer, or is this the
is this the line to get the tickets to get the beer? Yeah.
I don't know, faggot.
faggot.
I don't know, faggot.
And now a brief message from Brian.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can reach us on Twitter at ProdPod or on our website, prodigalsonspodcast.com, and leave a comment on the show comment section. You can also reach us on Facebook at facebook.com/prodigalsonspodcast. We do look forward to your feedback, your comments, even though some of them are about how I don't know how to speak or they don't understand what the fucking question I'm asking. But it means you're listening, so we appreciate any feedback you give to us.
What was the middle part again? I didn't catch that.
So funny. And if you'd like to support the show, please, at the top of the prodigalsonspodcast.com website, there is a Amazon link. Turn off your ad block, Jared, and you'll be able to see it. And then you can click on it and purchase all your Amazon gifts or Amazon purchases, and we'll get a small advertising fee. And just to let you know some of the things that were purchased in the last week through the Amazon click-through, we have a book called Crash and Burn by Artie Lang. I don't know if you folks know who he is, but I'm sure you do.
You will next week when I read that book and tell you about it.
We also, pardon me, oh man, just screwed everything up. We also got a Star Trek The Next Generation Season 1 on Blu-ray, which I find very funny because I'm pretty sure that is streaming on Netflix.
First of all, asshole, I'm the one who got that. And
you're giving it all away, man.
I got that based on there's tons and tons of behind the scenes stuff on there, documentaries, commentaries on the videos and stuff like that. So it's not so much to have the episodes, which I already have on DVD to begin with, let alone fucking Netflix, but I wanted the behind the scenes stuff.
All right, Nerdlinger.
And I will talk about that next week too, motherfucker.
Someone also purchased a waterproof, shockproof video camera through our link, so thank you very much. That's a pretty high-ticket item. We appreciate that very much. And someone then also bought a sun lamp for seasonal affective disorder, I'm sure. This is a thing I've actually thought about purchasing myself because I believe the 9 months of winter in fucking Cleveland make me sad all the time. So I've thought about purchasing this. So thank you all for shopping through the Amazon link. We do appreciate it. I know you don't have to do it, but the few bucks that we get in a kickback really help us out. And eventually when we get some money together, maybe we'll actually get a contest together for a gift card or something. So thank you very much.
We're $1 away
and we have a
from
YouTube
giving
channel.
You 1 month of Xbox Live.
Yes. And check out the YouTube channel. Jared works very hard on our videos.
Yes, and
putting
I've
chicks' boobs up.
No,
front.
I'm not. I told you, I'm not doing that anymore. That's over and done with. The last one I just put up there has nary a breast on it. May have
and that's why it has 3 hits.
One exactly, thus proving that you're all assholes and scumbags. There might be one pretty Asian chick mixed in there. That's about it.
Oh, I gotta go. I gotta go look at that. So, Jared, do you have a Twitter question for us for this week?
Yeah, I think our Twitter question. This is going to be some good planning on our part. All right, the Twitter question is going to tie right into what our topic is going to be. So we want to know what your, I guess we'll say best time travel movie, all-time best favorite. That doesn't have to be like, you don't have to go with the classic. It could be one that speaks to you personally. So mention that, and then next week we're going to go back in time for the new year, and we're going to talk about our favorite time travel movies and worst, best and worst out of us. You just give us your best. Was that clear?
This is going to take me all week to come up with these.
Is this going to be a tough one for you?
I'm going to write them. I'm going to start writing them right now while we're finishing the show.
I have to say, even though when you were talking about the Twitter stuff, I was just briefly thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be really hard. Best time travel? There's so many that I love. Mm-hmm. Worst I got. That's easy.
Please hashtag ProdPod when responding to the Twitter question, just so we have them all aligned and we can keep track of the ones that are specifically for the Twitter question this week. That is all.
All right, Adam, you can get on this too.
Yay!
For now, you're out.
Get back in your box.
Fucking second.
You blew it. I was gonna say you're gonna need to carry me through this next one. I was counting on you. Time travel movies are like the opposite of that they are for you two. I'm not a fan, even kind of.
Wow, I thought you were behind this idea when we had mentioned it. No?
I love the idea. I think I think there'll be a lot to be discussed. You know, there's lots of levels of time travel movie. You know, they work in a lot of different genres, from science fiction to apparently romantic comedy to apparently romantic drama
to sticking your dick in a mailbox.
Right, absolutely. I just I'm not especially cool, as you guys know, so I invest a lot of thought into that, and I can't fully wrap my head around the concept of nonlinear time travel because I can't really accept the idea of nonlinear time passage. So if it doesn't follow that logic, I get upset and I just don't like it. I just rebel against it.
So Ian's answer is going to be Back to the Future.
Well, what I was going to ask Ian to do is put a little bit of homework into the show and maybe go look up some lists of best and worst and see if there's any that jog your memory.
I will. I'll investigate for sure.
Okay. Because I'm going to have to do that anyway, even because I've seen ass loads of time travel films that I have to just kind of go back and be like, oh yeah, and this one and that one. I have a pretty good idea already in my head, my favorite.
Really?
The best one for me. My heart, I think the one is going to be the worst one, which makes it kind of hard for me to think about what movie it was that you and I saw together that you believe is the worst time travel film of all time.
Do you want to know after the show?
No. Well, I don't think I want to know.
Okay.
I think I want to try to figure out what it is and figure out if I actually agree and then go from there.
All right. I mean, I don't know if this tops Adam's suggestion of the what is it called? The Lake House?
Yes, the Lake House.
It's called the
See,
mailbox.
like I said, I don't. That's
we
not
don't
even
count
on my
that. We
radar.
don't count that, 'cause
That's
that
not
is
on my
a little
radar.
romantic. That's kind of like wasn't there a Christopher Reeve movie back in the day called The Man Out of Time or something like that where he goes back in time and
there
falls
was
in love?
There is. It's not The Man Out of Time. It's Time After Time.
No, Time After Time is the
one with Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, and H.G. Wells.
Okay.
Well,
There's
not
Time and
Superman.
Again.
Superman is not a time travel
He
movie.
travels through
Yeah,
time.
we need to make some rules here. All right? It can't be
So
a
it has
movie
to be
that has
time
a little
travel
time
themed?
travel in it.
Okay. So it has to be time travel centric, not
It's got to be the
just-
basis of the movie.
not just it involved some amount of time travel.
Right.
Right. The time travel can't be just like, oh, this is a small part of the movie to get you from here to there, and then the rest of it does something else.
Okay. So it's it's not the fact that Lake House is a romantic drama or comedy that disqualifies it. It just doesn't focus on time travel enough. So if I said
I don't know
so if
what keeps it out. It's just bad.
Right. Well, like what about a movie? What about a movie like The Time Traveler's Wife?
I would actually say the same thing, but I feel that those are more romantic things than science-y fiction things.
It's got to be a
Okay, so
science fiction-based time travel movie. It can't be a romantic movie where you could theoretically take out the science fiction-y part.
All right, I'll have to do some research then, because then my number one movie is out. This is a tragedy.
Now I got to know what it is.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
No, that's perfectly
totally
legitimate.
That's totally comedy. That is not a science fiction film.
No, but they
As
fucking
100%
travel all over the fucking place.
I'm aware, but you just said it has to be science fiction.
But that is, I would consider that a science fiction comedy.
Yeah. I also would, too.
Nay.
Somewhere in Time also, by the way, is Christopher Reeve.
Okay, Somewhere in Time. I knew time was somewhere in that fucking
By
time.
the way, Kim loves that movie.
Really?
Or she claims to. I don't know. I've never seen her watch it, but she always tells me about that one. Or maybe it was Time After Time. I can't remember which one it is now.
All right. And then if we want, we could put in some positive mentions for maybe some cool time travel shows.
Fuck yeah. I got a lot of those. And a really cool time travel book that is still yet to be made into a movie, which I'm surprised about.
Are you talking? Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I almost blew my fucking load right there because we could talk about that as well.
Save.
Is it a Dean Koontz book?
It is.
Ah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I still can't. Well, again, we'll talk about this next week, but I still can't believe that has not been made into a movie.
I know. It's funny because I think about that every time I watch Fringe. I thought about that quite a lot. About what?
Yep.
Oh, shit, I almost just said it.
All right.
Yeah, seriously.
Keep-
More
cut
saving,
this part
less
out.
chit chat. Let's stop
what?
doing the show.
Yeah,
I said more
let's
saving,
stop.
less chit chat. And this show.
All right, Ian, take us out.
Do we have an outro? I usually just say, see you
What
guys.
do you mean, play me out?
No, I didn't say play me out. What's going on?
Because I like throwing curveballs
fuck it,
at
we'll
Ian
do it
like that.
live.
Yeah, I'm underprepared. I'm just here for color.
All right, everybody, come back next week for the Big Time Travel Show. Take it easy.
See you
Take
then.
care.
That's our outro, Ian.
No, I don't think I've ever heard that.
Back in
I would-
my day, when you would go fishing, you would get in a boat and use a fishing pole. My mom saw it.
I heard.
I heard as well.
So there's a lot of penis in it, she said. She's like, Chad, there's so much dick in this movie. I'm so fucking... No, she didn't. Sorry, Mom.